Hello and welcome to another episode of FTU Life After the Military. I'm Tony Rodriguez and it is Memorial Day weekend. So, how's it going? How's everybody doing out there? All right, so this is going to be a short episode. I'm trying to keep them, if I don't have a guest, I'm trying to keep them to about 20-25 minutes. So I'm not just running my mouth. But there are a few things I wanted to talk about this week. I said last week I ended up going to a symposium and I got to here's somebody, right? Let me pull it up here. Anyway, the book it's called. I met somebody who wrote a book. The book's called "When Rambo Meets the Red Cross." Right. Bought the book, started reading it. Um, it's okay. It's a decent book. It's a good book. What it's about? It's about when military units. I bought it specifically because it's about civil military engagement in fragile states, right? Stanislava, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. Ladanova, I think. Anyway, why am I bringing this book up? I was in civil affairs. This is partly what I did when I was in the military. I was in, right? That was my former job. So I wanted to read it, and she interviewed some people from the 95th Civil Affairs. So I had a couple of comments on this book, right? One, this is this is the goal right here. This is the opportunity, and she seized her opportunity, right? This book is based off of her dissertation, right? She spent years researching, and then was able to turn her dissertation into a book, and so it's good on her. Hopefully she could make some money off of this. I know she's had some opportunities to go out and speak, and good on her, right? The book, I thought it was a little, like everything else. There were some things that were good about it that I agreed with, and there are some other things that I disagreed. And the reason why I disagreed was because I was in the job, I did the job. Some of what she was reporting was viewing the activities from a nice ivory tower and not on the ground, right? So I have a little bit of a bias. But what I did want to applaud her for was she had two generals. Everybody knows what I think about generals. I think generals are just hocus pocus junk. They're like Supreme Court judges who are in their 80s and still serving uh, as a judge, or an 80-year-old who's running for president or who may be the president, right? They're just out of touch with reality. You just don't grasp what's going on anymore because you're just so far up. You don't understand what the regular person is going through anymore. But good on her for getting two generals to write something in her book in the forward, right? Stating how great the book was. And for me, I'd rather have, like, I don't know, a seasoned E6 or E7 or a chief give me their write something for me because I know they've seen stuff. But the common person, the common college student, the common college professor doesn't know the difference. So they're going to see that a general wrote something and they're going to like, you know what, I need this book for my class. And then they're going to have, how many classes they teach, how many people are in their class, 25, 90, 300, however many people are in their class are going to have them buy this book. They're going to, how long will they use this book for? The next 5, 10 years? I don't know. Either way, good on her. She sees the opportunity. And that's what I wanted to say is that if you have an opportunity, yeah, go out, go buy this book, read it. I'd wait a little while till the price drops down. The hardcover is $110. Like, yeah, there's no way I'm spending $110 on a book that I don't need for class and a book that I'm just reading for quote unquote pleasure, right? I did read this book for pleasure. I just wanted to poke holes at it, which was mean, but it was actually well written, and there's some truth in there. And again, there's some stuff that kind of missed the mark. And what do I mean by missed the mark? Well, she interviewed people from the 95th Civil Affairs Brigade and the 98th Civil Affairs Brigade. Right? My friend Drew, love Drew, respect his opinion. Right? He likes to. He's on his little kick where, like a lot of veterans, where they're just, they're living their lives, but there's things that they see in our country that they don't really like. So they try to use a way to voice their opinion, but the way they do it is, in my opinion, it's not effective. And what do I mean by that? Drew thinks that pharmaceutical companies are out to make a profit, and they'll bypass safety regulations in order to make that profit, right? And it's like, well, yeah, no shit. Of course, that isn't top secret information. Everybody knows that. You want to know why? Because we live in the United States and we're capitalists and we love that money, right? Money, 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 money. We love it, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have some stock in Pfizer. Why not? Right? That's what we do. We make money and we like making money. Right? When you're poor, you have no money to invest in stocks. Later in life, when you have a little bit of money, you invest in the stocks so you can make more money. That's just the American way. That's what we do. And yes, big corporations are going to try to cut costs wherever they can so they can make more money for their stockholders. All right. But what Drew does is like he'll use like video clips from people who are agreeing with this point, right? The last one he used was with Jim Carrey and Jenny McCarthy. The problem with this is they were both saying, talking about, pharmaceutical companies trying to make money. Yes. Well, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, the only reason why Jenny McCarthy is saying this is because her career is pretty much dead. Because she has to say crazy things to get attention because nobody even remembered she was alive after what about 2005 time frame. She was a model and she got older. No reason to even know she exists anymore. Now she's saying crazy stuff. So all right, let's give her, a shot on the View or whatever, the Masked Singer, whatever, right? Jim Carrey, his highlight in his career was pretending that he could talk out of his behind, right? That's not somebody that I'm going to take medical advice from. Actually, I'm not going to take any advice from that buffoon. And my point is that you can have the best message on the planet, but your messenger counts. Your messenger is just as equally as important as the message. And why do I say this? Well, everybody knows that I respect Al and I respect Stacy. Stacy told me to eat a poop sandwich, a dog poop sandwich, and she said, "This will restore your hair, or this will restore your health." I wouldn't even need her to tell me that. If she just said, "I need you to eat this poop sandwich," I would eat it. I wouldn't ask if I could put hot sauce in it. I wouldn't ask if I could put some salt or pepper. I would just get it and down that thing as fast as I could because I trust her and her opinion matters. Her voice matters. She's a leader. I'll follow her anywhere. I'll run through a wall if she says, "I need you to be my suicide bomber." Man, I really don't want to be a suicide bomber, and if she told me you'll be okay, I would do it. That's an extreme, yes. If Al, right, he was my team leader. If Al told me like, "Hey, I need you," everybody knows that I make fun of flat earthers, right? If Al told me like, "Hey, man, no, that's right, like the Earth is flat," I would still have my skepticism, but I would be more apt to believe it because I trust Al. The messenger matters. So in this book, she says there's a lot of things. This person from the 95th or this person from the 98th. I can't take it seriously because Benny Goodtimes is in the 98th. La Pierda, the two dumbest people I've ever met in my life, Benny Goodtimes and La Pierda are in the 95th Civil Affairs Brigade. So it discredits her book for me because I know these two idiots are there. Now, what strengthens her book? That Al came out of there. Roz came out of there, right? Scott came out of there. That strengthens her book. It gives it credibility. Those three people are enough for me to ignore the fact that Benny Goodtimes and La Pierda are coming out of there. And that's going to be any organization. You're going to have your people that you value their opinions, people that you trust, and you're going to have other people that you're just surprised that they can even make it to work every day, right? So that's all I had to say is that the book is pretty good, but just understand that when you're out there looking for jobs, um, veterans and people who are getting out here shortly, or even people who have been out for a while, or like me, right? I'm working on my dissertation. Yeah, I've looked at ways to like cut corners, but your reputation matters, and you don't want to be that guy who is known as the guy who cheats or cuts corners or just lies on his academic papers. And I won't be. And you guys shouldn't do that either. You guys shouldn't do that when you're applying for jobs. Like, emphasize the things that you accomplish, but don't lie. Don't lie on your resume. Don't lie on what you're applying for. Seize the opportunity. Right? What does that mean? That means if there's something there, it's just don't be afraid. Right? I'm talking about this. For me, it's this book chapter that we're writing for the cohort. So, um, yeah, it's about women's leadership. Again, what do I know about women's leadership? Not much. I'm not the foremost expert on it. But yeah, one of my cohort members asked me if I was interested in participating, and yeah, I said yeah, I want to do it. And like I said, I just submitted my proposal for the cultural, whatever it is, the cultural center down in Montgomery for the Air Force, so I could present there. I'm writing my paperwork on the American culture, how we could have emphasized that and capitalized on that during our global war on terrorism in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the opportunities are there, so I'm going to seize them. I'm going to take advantage of it, because if I don't, then somebody else will, right? And it's not like there's a limited amount of slots. There's no slots for everybody. The problem is that most people don't want to try. Most people don't want to put in the effort. And so if you put in the effort, I promise you'll be successful. All right, you'll be rewarded for your work. And what's a good example of that? Junior's a good example of that. Junior opened up a shop when he got out in Spring Lake on Bragg Boulevard. It's called Lockstep Automotive Solutions, and Junior's expanding. And I went in today to go check in, just see how he's doing, because I miss seeing him, right? So I wanted to see how he's doing, and he's out there, and there's like easily 15 cars out there waiting to be serviced. From some stuff from just basic service, and other cars are being restored. And Junior's expanding his shop, and that's good. And he was telling me when he started, he took out just a personal loan, worked off of that, and now that he's shown after a couple of years that he's been able to make a profit, and instead of like using the money from the profit to go on vacations to the French Riviera, he's investing it back into the business. So the Small Business Administration provided him with the loan, and that's awesome. That's awesome. And so it wasn't easy. It's a lot of hours, but Junior's he's sticking at it, and he's successful. And you will too if you have a plan, just follow your plan. You're gonna have people naysayers. You're gonna have people who doubt you. And it's all right. Who cares? You want to know why they doubt you? Because they doubt themselves and they're not willing to try. So just get out there and go do it. All right. So, like I said, this one's going to be short because it's Memorial Day, and I want to go out and just I don't know, do nothing, just relax. But it's Memorial Day, right? And so I've seen quite a few people, and I've heard quite a few people who get on social media, get on LinkedIn, the professional social media, right? Social media for professionals. Well, that's debatable. But they get on there and they're telling everybody, this, it's not most Americans are going to go out and barbecue, go to the beach, go to the park, and that's what not that is not what the day is for. It's for remembering our fallen brothers and sisters, and yes, it is. But what bothers me is, how about you get off your goddamn high horse, dude, and stop preaching to me? I don't need anybody else to preach. I know what Memorial Day is, and if you don't understand, we live in the United States, right? Where we're able to celebrate however we want. We're able on all these holidays, right? Um, you can celebrate or not celebrate. It's up to you. You have the freedom to get on social media and tell everyone whatever you want. You be high and mighty and tell everyone, like, you need to pay respect to the people who have passed away, who've given their lives, and there's sons and daughters and wives and parents who are growing up without their sons or husbands, brothers, sisters, fathers. Yeah, we all get that. We all understand. And I'm not making light of it. It's like, it's a sad day, and we should all pay our respect for that. But the people who go out and enjoy life should not be looked down upon. They should not be condemned because they're enjoying life. The people who gave their lives for the United States, for the American way. Well, I don't know if you know this, but the American way is making money and spending time with your families, right? Providing for your families. Providing for your families means you need to make money, right? Spending time with your family. You don't want to work every second of your life. You don't want to work till you're dead. You want to go get out there and enjoy life. So if you're given an extra day off, yeah, people are going to take advantage of that. And that's perfectly fine. And for my brothers and sisters who are up there judging everyone, it's like, wow, what else are you doing the rest of the year? Are you remembering our fallen brothers and our sisters? Are you trying to help veterans in any way, in any capacity at all? Or are you just getting on social media and just talking trash? It's like, come on, like, get over yourself, dude. You're not that special, right? I'm tired of hearing people say, like, check in on one another, right? Do you actually do that, or are you just putting that on social media, or telling me I do 22 push-ups every day to bring awareness to you know, veteran suicide? Well, great, dude. I'm glad you're jacked, but that's not really doing anything. Are the people who say, yeah, we coordinated, we put together this fun run, this family fun run to raise money? It's like, where's money going? And no offense, but what is it doing for the actual veterans? But anyway, it's a long way to put, like, just get your head out of your ass, dude. Just get your goddamn head out of your ass. Like, stop. Like, let people live their lives however they want, right? We live in the United States, and people like to say freedom of speech. Well, I don't know if people really understand that. Freedom of speech means you can say what you want to an extent, right? You can't go out and threaten people. You can't say that you're going to do harm to any individual or any group of people or the country. You can say you don't like the people. You can say you don't like the country, right? But here, this is the sticking point, and this is what people don't understand: is you can tell me whatever you want, but I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to acknowledge you. I don't have to like you. I don't have to respect you. And this is a crazy one that people don't understand: is I can actually respond. I have a voice, so I can tell you, you know what, f you. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. And that's perfectly fine, right? And you can tell me the same thing. If I'm saying something, somebody who's listening to this doesn't like what I'm saying, they can tell me, "F you, you fat boy." Okay, all right. And that's the thing about freedom is, and I had to explain this to several people. It's like, the United States isn't free. Well, of course it isn't completely free, you moron. If it was completely free, there would be no laws, no rules whatsoever, and we would be living in a persistent state of just trying to stay alive, of high alert, right? So of course, we don't have some absolute freedom. We trade our freedom for security. When we call 911, hopefully the police will show up. If our house is burning, we dial 911. Hopefully the fire department will show up, and maybe they'll send an ambulance here, because I was burned. So no, we don't have absolute freedom, and we don't have absolute freedom of speech, right? But the speech that we do have, it's a lot better than most people have on this planet, right? And freedom of speech goes both ways. You can say whatever you want. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to respect you. Okay. So, like I said, this was a real short episode because it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm not going to cook hot dogs because I hate hot dogs, but I am going to go cook some hamburgers. And so, again, if you're ever in Spring Lake and you need some work done on your car, stop in at Junior's shop. It's called Lockstep Automotive Solutions. It's across the street from the IHOP in Spring Lake. Junior will take care of you. Uh, Please don't stop in if you need your vehicle inspected because there's no money to be made in vehicle inspections. The only places that will do those or that make money off of that are like the big places like your amp. What is it? I don't know. Whatever Meineke, right? Those places because they get you to do an inspection, and then surprise, surprise, they find something wrong with your car. So now you need some work done with your car, right? Or it's you do an inspection and get an oil change all at the same time. Uh, Smaller shops aren't going to make money off of the inspection, so it's not even worth their time to do it. All right, but if you go in there, he'll give you a fair price and he'll treat you right. All right. So for everybody out there, please, please, please enjoy your weekend and spend some time with your families. Don't stress too much. I don't. I put rules in place because I am not going to overstress ever again on anything. I wrote this last paper for this last class I had, and I put in enough effort so I could put in the. I was constructively lazy, right? Constructively lazy, and I ended up with an A in the class. If I ended up with a B, that would be fine. Um, but I'm not going to stay up, you know, 22 hours out of the day working on a paper. That's insane. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't benefit me. It takes years off my life, and for what? People want to. So right before we go, I have to mention this. Right, people want to talk about how special they are. Right, getting into this PhD program, I remember some of the professors were saying you don't want to be ABD, all but dissertation. You want to be part of the 1%. You want to be a 1%er. I was like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Right? What they meant was, and they were saying only 1% of the population on the planet has a PhD. So you want to be part of that select group. Right? I saw something on LinkedIn, and I've had other sergeant majors tell me this, but there was a sergeant major say, I'm part of the elite 2% because only 2% of the military will ever earn the rank of sergeant major. Whoop-de-doo. It's like only 2% will ever score 600 on their ACFT. It's like, what? What? Really? It's like only 2% will ever be jump master. Okay, still not impressed by anything. And it's like only 2% will earn a master's degree. Okay, he should be proud of that, right? So I read that, and all I could think of was, hey, bro, when you get two more masters and you start working on a PhD, then come back and then we'll have a conversation. Because I accomplished all that. And guess what? If I can do it, it's not that impressive. Yes, I know for those of you out there who know me, I did not get promoted to sergeant major. But if I would have stayed in, I would have been selected for sergeant major. And I know that because people, again, received an Article 15, general letter of reprimand, removed from the E7 list, still worked my butt off, got promoted back to E7, promoted to E8, lateral promotion to first sergeant. Why would I not be promoted to sergeant major? I am the epitome of persistence, of perseverance, of just being stubborn, whatever you want to call it. I accomplish my goals. Yes, I get down. I get tired. I don't want to do it. I get lazy. But I accomplish my goals. I don't need to tell myself that I'm any 1%. And this is why I say it, because it's like these are just stupid made up games, right? I can go, well, I'm part of the 1% that's run 50 marathons or 50 half marathons, 25 marathons. I was a SOCM. I was a master rated jump master. I hold 3 master's degrees. I speak 5 languages. I'm working on a PhD. Yes, it's like, so what? It's like I could also put in there, and I'm also double jointed of my thumbs. What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything, right? So people just like to just talk about nonsense. They want to talk about how special they are. We are all special in our own way. I've mentioned this before. We are all special in our own way, right? So don't listen to any of that crazy nonsense of, well, you have to be part of the 1% or just a select 2%. It's like, who cares? Who cares? Like, blow it out your ass, bro. Like, who cares? So I know everybody out there, if you're listening, you are special. Hey, for my brothers who are listening in Africa, thank you. I appreciate it. And it looks like Vlad Putin downloaded the latest episode in Russia, so I appreciate that. And Meo Amigos in Brazil started listening. And where else? Let's see. There was another place. I forgot where it was. Oh, my compas in Mexico started listening, so I appreciate that. There was one last place. Oh, the UK. The UK. That's right. So thank you to everyone who's listening. And again, you have something that makes you special, something that makes you unique. Identify what it is. I know you'll be successful. All right. If you need help with your resumes or just whatever, just looking at jobs, you can email me at arantoniorodriguez98@gmail.com and I'll help you out. All right. So until next time, zot, 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 and roll tide.